Good morning. I'm speaking with Brad Rourke, CEO of Scottie Resources. And Scottie made it to my tax law silly season list. Maybe some junior mining companies wouldn't be super happy to be on a tax law selling list, but they got highlighted, and they got highlighted because I think this company has a lot of potential. They got a lot of good things going on, a great location in the Golden Triangle near Stewart, BC, high grade gold veins, a vein system, a very large, well endowed system. And they surprised me today with a news release while I was on a semi vacation here in Phoenix, Arizona. But for 37.6 grams per ton gold over 4.1 meters and a new discovery grading, nearly 7 grams per ton gold over 6 meters, I will get up and speak with Brad. Good morning, Brad. How are you?
Well, thank you. Good morning to you. Yeah.
Tell us about this new zone. So it's the Wolf Zone is what you're calling it. And based upon what I read, this is your first hole into the zone.
Correct. Yeah, it's right underneath Wolf Creek, so we're not very creative here. And the LMNO, that those are all predetermined. The alphabet was previously set, but we just kind of went from the lettering system just because it's underneath Wolf Creek. So it was that was our biggest hole of the year, longest hole, and as we're drilling Scottie Gold Mine because we're going to try and come out with a resource on it. We just kind of stepped back because we're walking the margins of the glaciers, and it's really in this kind of curious spot. But we just had it was a 4 gram surface sample, which is actually quite low for our area. But we wanted to drill underneath that creek because we just kind of see with some of these other zones a depression, right? And so we're drilling this long hole to go all through all the zones as we're trying to come up with a resource and drill through the fault, the Morris Summit fault, which no one's, it's a new thing and real risky. But we just thought, okay, let's do this big hole, see if we can hit a bunch of zones. And yeah, we didn't know that we would hit. We had, no real inclination that there was vein sets there. And yeah, so to hit, 7/6 or close to that, it's very exciting. And in fact, it's more exciting for me than, the bonanza hit down at the end zone, which let's not discount how good a 150 gram meter hole is. But, for us as a team, we go, wow, because just like our C&D vein, just like the blueberry vein, that's where you start. And then, so next year we'll be able to fan out from that. And we left that pad up there. And so, yeah, it just continues on. I mean, we've been drilling blueberry for so long. We want to kind of show that we're doing other things, and a new discovery sure is welcomed because we'll just see it deserves a lot more drilling now. So very
So
exciting.
yeah, it does. I'm looking at the section map in today's news, and I mean, it looks to me like there's ample room to test this further to the southeast and at depth. I mean, these veins are plunging, steeply. And it seems to me like it'd be logical to step back a bit and try to test it to the southeast.
100%. But you gotta, you start with one, and then the next. I know how Thomas works. The next set of drills will all be tightly around that one, so we can get some idea of geometry, and then then we start stepping out, just like we did with blueberry, just like we've done with C&D, veins and P zone, and so yeah. But for sure that'll be in our drill plans for next year, and yeah, probably a lot more Scottie. Scottie's actually very happy. If you look at the results, we still even have more coming for the actual Scottie Gold Mine, which we really just haven't paid much attention to over the last few years, just because of the nature of blueberry was so easy for us to get and cheaper to drill. But we just wanted to show that there's more to offer than blueberry. And make no mistake, blueberry can still give up ounces as frequent as it has in the past. So just to show people the potential scale of what we're dealing with here.
So do you think the Scottie Gold Mine will be a priority for, the program, next summer?
I think it'll have equal weighting. I mean, let's not forget Blueberry is right on surface, has bulk tonnage potential on the top. It's still the lowest hanging fruit, and
Hmm.
still, at Blueberry, uh, there's less than 50,000 meters of drilling just on Blueberry. And we're going to get this resource in the next few months. But we can continue to add ounces. We're only cut off at the north, but we've known about that for a long time now. So much more to do, but the high grade nature of Scottie, and again, this is going to be included in our MRE, but it'll be a lot higher grade than the Blueberry, and Blueberry is still going to be very respectable. The underground portion will be higher grade than the bulk tonnage portion, but yeah, we just been so shorthanded financially forever. Blueberry just costs probably an extra 25% to drill because of the helicopters. And but we're getting some respect, I suppose. And no, I think we'll see, equal amount or a healthy program at Scottie. I mean, because a lot of the stuff we did this year is like, okay, how much can we add to? But we look at these results in the past, we're going, okay, we think we're happy. And so that it just gives us way more confidence. When you have these hits, you just get more confidence, right? And to drill more holes. So yeah, I could see Scottie, I haven't really released what kind of a program I'm doing for 2025. We're doing so many other things in drilling right now.
Hmm.
But oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, Scottie's
So, with the end zone, 37.6 grams per ton gold over 4 meters. I mean, that really is exceptional. Can you tell us about some of the other veins in this area? Is that, extraordinary, or are there other holes that have hit, those kind of grades?
Well, for my opinion, anything over 100 gram meters is extraordinary, right? And then you start looking at grade as grade king, because 1 gram hit over 100 meters. I still think that's extraordinary, right? Just
Hmm.
go ask Snowline, which are 2 grams, and I mean those are extraordinary if you can get consistency. We're a vein system. Anything over 100 gram meters to me is should be enough for, if you're a real investor, you're going to do some due diligence, because those are exceptional holes. Now, what makes end zone great? I mean, I think it's just over 150 gram meters. I don't have the stuff in front of me, but we have other hits this year. The focus of Scottie was always the M zone, and the N zone really was kind of identified. I think we've actually put enough drill holes into it. It's really accessible. Like, there's workings right there. So we're at, you know what I mean? So yes, a lot more to do it. And we haven't really focused at it before, but because these holes, we just try and hit these multiple sets down, of course we always hope to hit, but I mean, heck, man, if I can get a 50 gram meter hole, I'm very happy, especially if we're talking about building a resource, right? You want those discovery holes to, like, okay, and give you a reason to spend money there and spend a lot of time with your geoscience team. But I mean, with that, when you're looking at resources, should excite people, because again, there's no very little development. I mean, there's all the underground workings are there, where it has a mine permit, and so we're months away from seeing what Scottie gives up, and again, just people should just focus on how little drilling every year. We've always been, we're like this small little company, and
Hmm.
man, oh man, one day, then I'd love to do 60,000 meters. I just got to find that balance to not blow my shareholders out of the water. Yeah.
So you reported one hole this morning, exceptional. I'd love to see more holes like this one, although, this is very, very good. So I'm not expecting all the holes to be quite that good. So, how many holes are there still left to report from the 2024 season?
I don't know the answer to that question. 15 holes is my guess.
Okay.
I should know the answer to that. I think you'll see a couple new news releases into the new year, and then soon after that an MRE, and then we're already working on economics. So yeah, I mean, we did we pulled back. We only did 10,000 meters this season in order to save money. And that's why we have the cash that we have on hand. And because, the last few years, and I'm so happy I did that, I spent every dollar drilling I did back-to-back 20,000 meter programs in the years past. There's a part of me wishes I did 30,000 this year, but if the market's not rewarding it, I think we've done well by conserving the capital. And so we're in a strong position that way. And like I say, if the market can turn a little bit, doesn't even have to go hard for us. I'd love to do 40,000 meters next year is very easy. We could do that really easy. We've been drilling this long enough. We got a system. We know, we're pretty efficient with it, and our drill costs are something to be very proud of. So a couple more news releases for sure into the new year. And I was actually thinking of releasing this one in the new year, but we did this restructuring. Stock was kind of getting a little soft. Gold was doing well. I believe a Santa Claus rally it might be in order. Again, I'm always wrong about the stock market, but I think that's a possibility. So I thought, let's get that out there and and take me off blackout.
Yeah, I
You
think
know what
that
that means.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I do know what that means. So
Okay.
you can buy stock now. I think that this time of year, just like this like, this week and maybe into early next week, we're still getting a little bit of that tax loss selling, unfortunately. And it's crazy to see gold above 2,700 and like the move it had on Wednesday. And a lot of juniors are not moving. And I think it just has to do with where we are in the calendar. And
Yeah.
I've seen companies put out, results like this, extraordinary, high grade, you know, gold hits, and the stock won't move for a day or two. And then all of a sudden, maybe 3, 4 days later, it gets traction. Just people pay attention, the right person pays attention, uh, and people start to, get it. And sometimes it's just uh slow week, a slow day or something, and just not many people are tuned in. And that could be what's happening here um on this Thursday. So I want to talk about the resource that's coming in Q1 with the Scottie Gold Mine portion of it. What will be in that resource? Obviously not Wolf, obviously not this hole that you reported this morning, but what will be in that?
Uh, again, so beyond my pay grade, it's an independent, and Thomas gets to deal with the independent resource modelers. I do believe the end zone one actually might. I mean, this hole was designed to for confirmation on the Scottie resource, and so we're not twinning holes, but people have to understand that there was no core at all left from Scottie Gold Mine. So these are we had to have some proxy to, there's a 700 drill hole database. So I think these holes are confirmation with what was written down in the old log books from the 80s. And so it's exciting, right? Because they're coming out pretty good. If you look at all my Scottie holes, you're going, wow. Again, I've never put out a resource before. This would be the first time for me. I believe my team is on it, and we've never really missed. We've never overpromised once, and I think Thomas is quite conservative, which frustrated me years before. But at this point, I don't think it matters. It's not a stock market play for us. We've got something where we're not itching to sell, and there's a lot more gas in the tank to go from here. So, I think these holes do. Of course, Wolf Zone will not. We didn't even know it existed before. So
Mhm.
won't be. But I think the other parts of those holes, going into the N and the L, those will account with the other historic database. And so we'll see. It's we were targeting again. So, and we'll get to judge me on our numbers like in a very short period of time. We're hoping to get 250,000 ounces out of Scottie at 10 grams. That's what we're hoping for. And so we'll see how close we are to that mark. And if I can hit 750,000 ounces at Blueberry, and that grade's going to be a lot lower because of the bulk tonnage scenario at the top, which is extremely profitable. And we're going to be very happy if we're in around that million ounce threshold, because it's only about 55,000 meters drilling total. And so that's exceptional if you start comparing us to other stories out there and how much money it costs to come up with these things. And again, no indication that we're closed off anywhere. We just need to go drill more. And I think we deserve to get to a spot where we can put 5 drills on this thing and really, get going. But if I hit that million ounces, I believe me, we'll be very happy. I see a pathway to 2. I've never said that up until about, not even a year ago. Michael Gray's suggesting 3 and around that intrusion. Give me one more drill season and maybe I can stretch my imagination. But we don't have to at a $40 million market cap Canadian, wave our arms that big right now. This is good business. What's the downside? And anybody selling today from a private placement point of view is choosing to lose money. Like, this is cheap as it was before I drilled the hole. And so it's unfortunate, but again, there's value, there's price and there's value. And now we've got history and track record, and we're not going to do anything different. We're going to keep going.
Let's talk about cash in the treasury and share structure. So you just did the share consolidation. Stock is a lot cleaner now. I know that the last update I saw, you had 7 million in the bank. So how much runway does that cash give you? And could you do a big program, with that?
Well, what define big? I mean, I could do the same program
20,000 meters?
No. I mean, well, you know what? I might be able to just squeak in at 20,000 meters for sure. But then that would leave me cashless, of which I will never put myself in that position again. I've learned that lesson. So our program this year was $4.5 million. So I've got $7 million. So I could do last year's program and still have 2 years of G&A if that's, if things continue to be tough. And, but we're also, so there's $7 million in the treasury at the moment. We don't owe any money for anything, not a property payment. Everything's paid for. Between my cash, my tailings, and the buildings that Scottie owns is way worth more than the $40 million market cap. Forget all the other things. So, we're working on other things. We're shifting gears. Like I said, this MRE is coming out, but mostly we want to show the economics on that ore, because just all the attributes. We do have a permit. We do have hydropower. We are at ore in 2 phases right now, very little development costs. And so that's where Kevin Jennings comes in. And the market's kind of waking up to who actual Kevin Jennings is. I was in Europe last week, and, some people they're just shocked that he's working with such a small company. Given his resume is quite impressive. And so he's working on a whole bunch of different economic situations, and we're exploring DSO opportunities, and just kind of seeing what's working for others, and maybe get out of this junior exploration box and maybe work our way into a development type story. I think we can confidently do that, and I think 2025 is going to be pretty big for us. So yeah, I mean, 7 million now. Again, money's never been hard for me to raise. It's just finding the right money. And then at these prices, it just doesn't make any sense. And my shareholders, for the most part, are happy. Of course, the restructuring always creates a little chaos and opinions on that. And I fully understand this. I've been doing this a long time, but, I just look at, okay, it's the last thing anyone could ever complain about. I was at 300 million shares. And whenever I raise the next monies, whenever, now I'm going to be over that 300 million threshold. My neighbor is almost at $1 billion, like 980 million shares for Canadian companies, quite a bit. So I just front run the inevitable. It's going to happen to Ascot. There's going to be a rollback there. I'm sure of it. Or I mean, I'm not sure of it, but It would be logical. And so, and it's mostly for the US crowd, Robert. I did hear enough times and from very sophisticated people going, look, man, it's just too, I can't buy 10-cent US stocks. And A, the commissions cost me too much. And B, it doesn't fit my fund or what be it. So I'm going to come to the US and market very hard in the next 3 months. And with that, and we'll just see if I'm right. We've drifted off a little bit, but it's not dramatic. And I'll just, it's up to me to get out there and educate people and work really hard. And that's what I plan to do. So, 50 million shares outstanding. I think it's going to be 50. There's some warrants are going to expire here in the next couple of months, and we're going to be about 54 million fully diluted. So it looks pretty clean from my point of view. So yeah, the runway is clear for us.
Final question about Kevin Jennings, because I don't think that many people know who he is. He is a 10% shareholder of Scottie. He has an impressive resume. Tell us about Kevin and sort of how he got involved with Scottie and what he's doing for the company.
Even at the beginning, I wasn't aware, and you kind of, oh yeah, he worked for Glencore and Xstrata and Barrick, CFO of Barrick Africa. He ran Africa for Barrick. But he's been buying the stock for 2 years in the market. He's very few private placements. He found us and just kept raw, raw, raw. And then when Ascot stumbled, this is when he didn't get excited. He goes, okay, now I can add value and I need to come on because he wants to be part of, he came on as an advisory board because he'd actually like to start participating in some of the active meetings that we have. And you just look at my shareholder base, we have a very impressive list. So he's had 70 spreadsheets on 5 different scenarios. And basically, he is a financial modeler of mineral deposits. And there's hardly one that he doesn't have some knowledge on around the world. But, he's at Glencore, Xstrata, at very high level positions. And then, of course, CFO Barrick Africa is not a small position. Been retired for about 6-7 years. He's younger than I am. I think he just got out of this big corporate thing. He's just been raising his family and kind of managing his own money. But I honestly think he's excited to be working again. And, so he's a monster. This guy's working hard and just opening the eyes to both Thomas and I are, quite frankly, outside of what we think that we know. And so the level of knowledge and different scenarios that he's brought is it's really good for our shareholders, really good for me personally. And then the feedback coming just recently, I was, again, just in London, big Swiss company. And the guy was like, Kevin Jennings? And he goes, no. And I said, well, yeah, I told you. Shocking. And he goes, well, I worked for him at Strata and, down under. And this is pretty powerful people today. And, so the compliments I'm getting from some titans of the industry is quite interesting. So, maybe one day we'll do we're working on things right now. I think it's important that we get the MRE out. Evan's not meant to be out there selling retail stocks to junior guys, but, he's over 10% of the company right now and couldn't be happier. So I talk to him every day and teaches me something every day. And quite frankly, a lot of it, I'm just going, it's still kind of going over my head. But I mean, he's talking with smelters all over the world. He's, we've commissioned ore sorting studies. So we're already, we've sent geos up to the site, took a bunch of ore that's already in Germany. And, can we concentrate this stuff down to 15 grams? And then we're actually start putting numbers to what we have in just even at the 1,000,000 ounces, forget if we get to 2 and beyond. And this is just a small part of our property, right? There's so much exploration opportunity we have. There's 7 past producing mines we have. So, but I think this year, if we start actually we're going to force the market to re-rate us, and we'll just go, well, here are real numbers. And there are equals to Kevin, but if I get into negotiations, we're talking to big super funds and stuff. It's like, well, here's Kevin, and you might find an equal, but it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the table. He commands respect. He has the experience and more importantly the respect. And again, if you know some bigger company guys, just ask around on their opinions, because it's amazing. We're blessed. It's a godsend for us.
So he just started on October 1st. So it's not even, it's barely 2 months that he's been with Scottie. So really the results of his work will probably bear fruit in 2025. So a big year shaping up for Scottie Resources in 2025. And good news this morning, Brad. I really appreciate this conversation, and I look forward to another one.
Awesome. Enjoy Arizona.
Cheers. Thank you.